Hello, welcome to Caesar 3 Media. My name is Augustus Sampa. I'm the host. I have a background in Bachelor's in Science and a Master's in Divinity. And today we continue our series with the concept of God. And today I have a very special guest with me today. And I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shannon Smith. I am a naturopathic doctor with about 10 years of nursing experience as well. Augustus and I met back in my nursing days about maybe 7 years ago.
Yes, about 7 years
Yeah.
ago.
I took a different route during COVID and found the Naturopathic Institute in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and I did their doctorate program. And now I practice out of Live Well, the healing community in Lansing, Michigan, just outside of Frandor. We're a holistic health club community, and I just offer a multitude of different holistic services to the community.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're gonna go right into it. Time is limited. We don't want to stress our audience listening to things they don't want to listen to. But I always start with the concept of God. I says we are all made in the image of God, as some people believe. A lot of people believe that our body is the temple of God. And the third thing I want to ask, which a lot of people have a problem accepting it, that we are gods, as Psalm 82 verse 6 represent. But whenever you talk about God, people start itching, and there's over 48,000 different churches. So this platform is not religious, it's more spiritual because it brings the individual aspect of spiritual life. So I try not to get into religion. I dwell more on the spiritual, so we kind of coin it into a spiritual science thing.
Right.
But I'll let you come in after I give you the chance to explain what is your concept of God. Make it brief, just brief concept of God to you.
I agree with everything that you just said. It is very difficult for people to hear that we are God, but we are the expression of the life force energy that is woven through every fabric of our universe,
Right.
in the smallest particle to the largest beings, and that is the expression of God and the work of God himself. So we are essentially, yes, made in his image because we are of him.
Correct. I like that. See, it's amazing. Well, we're gonna get right into it. Like I said, the main topic is healing from within. Under the umbrella of the concept of God, we are saying healing from within. And the first question comes in the form of, can somebody be spiritual? And I always use this as an example. A lot of people are very spiritual. They claim to be very, very spiritually inclined. And yet, spirituality without the ability to enhance your life or your reality, I believe is very useless. You can be spiritual all you want, but if it doesn't do anything good for you, then what is the point? So the first question is that is spirituality in general, can somebody be very spiritual and yet be very sick?
So we always have to look at individual specific cases. However, typically, I mean, in any religious text, or even like we talked about just in the opening of our bodies being the temple of God, is in order to really have that divine connection, we have to cleanse our temple. We have to make sure that, we are free of toxin overload, that we are, filling our bodies and our minds with beauty, whether it be in the form of our food, our environment, or the thoughts that we choose to allow through us. All of that constitutes a form of spirituality because you're caring for the vessel that is housing your soul. And in order to have that clear system where you are more divinely in tune and able to be a clear vessel for channeling different energies or frequencies of healing, they go hand in hand. So you're not very often going to see somebody who is highly spiritual and very sick.
Yeah.
However, I have seen cases where people are very, very sick due to different circumstances, not necessarily their lifestyle, but who have leaned into spirituality or prayer or manifestation and have come out of that sickness, but it also changes the way that they view their bodies and the way that they view the world. And so I would go as far to say as I don't think that spirituality is wasted on the ill, but I think in order to get better, that spirituality has to take them down a different path.
Wow. So in that case, in that context, where would you put accident? Like you mentioned, somebody might be very, very spiritual, but yeah, they get into an accident and they're not the same anymore. Their body is going through pain and all of that suffering. Where and how does spirituality or their enhanced spirituality help them in that case?
So when we talk about health, the whole body is only the sum of the health of our cells. So our cells are listening to every single thought that we have throughout the day. So I always tell people, like, watch your words. And it's because when we are speaking, we are casting spells.
Wow.
We are literally telling our body how to respond.
Did you just say spells?
Yes. That's why they call it spelling.
Wow, spells.
And not in a witchcraft sense.
You see?
In a frequency sense. So as we are speaking, our words are shaping the way that our bodies are, responding. Whether we're talking about somebody else or talking about ourselves, our bodies and our cells cannot differentiate between the two. So if we're gossiping, we're sitting here talking about somebody and we're saying all these horrible bad things about them, our bodies are listening to us say those things and they're responding appropriately as though we were telling ourselves that this is the case. So for people that have accidents, or like, let's say somebody has a stroke and they have an affected side, let's say their left side is affected. I hear a lot of people say like, oh, that's my bad arm or my bad shoulder, or, that's my bad side. The cells of your body are listening to you say that.
So their feelings get hurt.
Well, yeah, and the cells will respond accordingly to, okay, we don't need to, do as much on this side because it's not as important. And so when we're instructing our body on how to heal, our thoughts and our processes that, we go through when we're mentally healing are just as important as the physical health and the rehabilitation.
So will you say that's the reason why some people will say everything might have to take place spiritually before it gets manifested physically? What is the connection with that in terms of healing the body or even prevention of sickness? Like, can you be healthy spiritually first and then it comes physically?
Yeah. So everything in the physical realm happens in the quantum realm first.
Right.
And when I say quantum realm, I'm talking about energetics and the subatomic particles that we can't really see. Right. So a really good way to explain quantum physics to people that don't really have a background in this science is imagine like a computer screen or a TV screen. What we're watching is a movie, and that's the big picture. But if you really zoom in, you're going to see little tiny pixelations that create that overall scene. That's essentially quantum physics in the realm of we have to zoom into the smallest particles that we cannot see with the naked eye, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist and that they don't make up our reality. So everything that happens in our physical bodies first start in our energy bodies, because we have 7 etheric layers, and though we can only see the physical, most physical layer, that is kind of the end product. So most people believe that we are a physical body with an aura or an energy body, but really we are an energy body with a physical manifestation. So the aura or the 7 etheric layers are just the matrix upon which our physical expression is built.
Wow. You see, whenever you go into the sciences, like I said, the platform is a spiritual science, and a lot of these things has to make sense. Me personally, I don't like following things blindly. So if you don't explain something to me, I don't believe it.
Right.
And I hate the word believe. It makes me itch. You know the funny thing, a lot of people play with it. Believe means you don't know. Mm-hmm. And so you're following something that you don't know, and you don't ask questions. So it makes me itch. Maybe that's why I started having problems, especially people that think they are spiritual and yet nothing is going right for them. But when you were talking, you mentioned something about energies. I'm very obsessed with energies, especially I kept reading and doing research about chakras.
Yeah.
And all of that. How do having or increasing your knowledge in terms of how your energies operate, how does that help you in your holistic and your overall well-being?
So when we go into the chakras, this is a very multifaceted.
Broad, right?
Yes, there's so much, but just
huge.
To give you a general,
just give me a tiny bit.
So chakra actually means wheel, like a spinning wheel, because it is our spinning energy centers. So a lot of times I've heard in the different churches that I've been to that, chakras are the work of the devil or like occultist practice. And
it's crazy.
And it's just
crazy.
Occult literally means to be hidden.
Hidden.
And so this is hidden information.
Mystery,
yes,
mystery.
Absolutely. Yep. So the whole reason that this is hidden from us is so that we are limited in our power and being able to take back our ability to heal outside of the church's control.
Wow.
And this is separate. Church and God are two separate things. And so we have to understand that every church is not the same, but that the overall practice of the history of the church, especially with ties into the Vatican and stuff like that, that there's a lot that has been hidden from us, that has been taken away from what we are taught is God.
Yeah.
And so to understand ourselves kind of puts us back in control of that power and that connection and the ability to manifest through God. So by making sure that your chakras are aligned and open, and it increases your overall vibrational frequency to help connect you to source. Wow. With a stronger tie. Wow. So when we're talking about the chakras, there's 7 chakras.
Correct.
That's the modern day. There's actually a lot more, but just for the basics.
If you Google it, you get 7.
Yes. So the very standard, the basic, what we'll go over today without getting like too far down the rabbit hole, are just the basic 7 chakras.
Wow.
So each one not only has a different location on the body, they're all central. So your root chakra is at the base of the spine, kind of where if you were sitting in lotus position, that's where you're meeting the ground. So all of that is like your safety, your ability to feel secure and safe in your body. So a lot of times we are so stuck in fight or flight that most of us have a misalignment in that area. Because we either we don't have enough money, we don't have appropriate housing, we don't have support, we don't have so those things.
Will you say that example? Would that be related to how we do the Maslow hierarchy thing? Is that the physical, like the primal, the basic?
Yes, exactly. So and kind of think of that is exactly the model of how it goes up. So then you've got your sacral chakra. Mm-hmm. That's your creativity and your sexuality, your ability to form partnerships. And again, these are not just energy voodoo. These are actual physical centers of the body. Like they've used equipment that measures energy output. And this is how we were able to find those energy centers. So
there are scientific evidence supporting these chakra theories.
Oh, very much so. So it gets very deep. So we'll finish.
You heard her. She said it gets very deep. Okay, I did not say that. Usually that's my term, but we will get into some of the bigger topics. Today is more like an introduction.
We'll do just an overview.
Yeah, overview of some of these things.
Down the road, we'll come back and go into how the chakras
function together.
They tie into organs, they tie into mineral systems, they tie into colors and sounds, and we could do a whole episode on that. Like that, the chakras are very, very deep.
I was very, very obsessed with that, and eventually I started looking into things like your third eye and all of that. But like we said, we'll come back to it. This is just one of the episode in our multiple series. Once I have the attention of Doc here, we're gonna definitely grab all the knowledge we can grab from this lady, and hopefully our audience will enjoy these content. Because a lot of times you go on social media, there's a lot of craziness over there. When you put something reasonable and smart, nobody even want to watch it. But I'm sure this could resonate with some audience out there, people that would like to learn just like we like to learn.
Yeah.
They will definitely jump on these content and try to learn something. But talking about the energies again, I noticed that nutrition, because I remember there was this guy that says we are actually what we eat, and we eat to die. And when he said that, I was very sad. I was like, nah, man, you starve yourself, you're gonna die. He said, no, bro, you don't understand what I mean. We eat to die. Because food is everything. You know, where do we place nutrition in our overall well-being?
At the very top. It has to be up there with mindset. Absolutely. I mean, not in the Western culture, no, but personally, yes, food. I am an absolute psychopath about what I put in my body. But before the program that I went through, no, I had no idea. The things that we are taught from elementary school, even in nursing school, the things that we were taught, it's atrocious. Like when I went through this program and started learning about real health and gut health and food combining and ingredients and nutritional values and mineral deficiencies, these were all things that I should have been taught in my medical career.
You would think so, huh?
They should be the very basic. They should be the foundation of what we're using in patient care. And we had one class. Nutrition class. And guess what? None of it was about nutrition.
Wow.
All of it was, it was sad.
So in other words, these are some of the ways to actually prevent sickness, not necessarily to treat, but rather prevention is, like some people say, prevention is better than cure.
Well, both. Yeah. If you can prevent it from happening, you don't have to worry about a cure. But in all honesty, what illness is only two things. It's either a malnutrition or an overabundance of toxins in the body.
Through the food.
Yes.
Through the food.
Or through other means too. Heavy metals, pesticides, all of the plastics, and we are surrounded by a sea of toxins. Wow. So it is a full-time job just trying to keep your body safe and away from all of that stuff, because it's everywhere. It's mainstream.
Once we're on that topic, we're just touching on a few of these things. Where do you place, and I know you mentioned earlier about you are now conscious on what you put in your body. Where do you place, I like to believe in balanced diet, everything you have to do in moderation. Because I'm asking this question for the people out there, some of us that believe in some of these things. Where do you place moderation? That's number one. Because even eating too much of food is a problem.
Yeah.
Eating less food is also an issue. So the idea of balancing things and providing an equilibrium, because I believe everything has to be balanced.
Yeah.
Where do you place alcohol and meat eating? Because I was told one day by somebody that anybody that eat meat is not spiritual.
Oh, I heard that too.
Please touch on that for me, please. It's a personal question of mine.
Very, very much enjoy me a good steak. However, I am very, very particular about where I source my meat from.
Okay.
Because
not Walmart.
Absolutely not.
Right.
I will not go to Walmart.
Yeah.
But no, farm to table. Literally, you need to vet your farmers. You need to see, are they using, antibiotics? Are they using steroids? Are they vaccinating their animals? All of that ends up in the meat. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand their farming practices, and that's just baseline health. Then you have to go as far as, okay, what does their sacrifice process look like? Mm-hmm. Is it humane? Is it loving? Are they pouring love and affection into their animals? Or is it just a, hey, we're running you through the slaughter mill type of deal? Because that will also be
that
in the meat.
affects the meat.
Yes.
Their pain goes into the meat.
Absolutely. The fear, the pain, the sadness. I mean, they're animals. They're sentient beings.
That sounds Islamic, though. I don't know if you
halal.
The halal
meat.
That's that sounds very Islamic.
Yeah. Well, they understand the practice, but they also hold their animals to a higher value. I mean, when I went to Rishikesh in India, the whole place was vegetarian.
Wow.
They would not eat meat. They wouldn't sacrifice. They're a non-violent religion. So, it depends on where you're looking at, because depending on where you're at in the world, your body's going to adapt differently. Look at the Inuits. They could live on almost 90% fat diet, and they are some of the healthiest people in the world.
Still healthy.
We as Americans try to do that. It's not going to go over very well, So it's always individual specific. Wow. Always. Now, if you're an A blood type,
okay, blood type comes into it.
Huge. You're not going to be somebody that can handle a lot of meat like a B or an O blood type would. You're going to do better with the turkey, chicken, fish, and some people full vegetarian.
Look at that. You see, that's why I think people need to know some of these things. How many people know that if you're this blood type, you're not supposed to eat this kind of meat? How many people know this?
Probably only the people that went to night or read Dr. Peter D'Adamo's book.
Look at that. But we just eat. I mean, you're lucky to even have food on your table. We just eat anything that is presented to us.
And drive-thrus?
Man, I have fast food.
Yeah.
I have a problem here in Michigan, and maybe since you're a Michigander, you can help me too. There is a lot of deer in Michigan.
Oh yeah.
And I noticed that the sad thing is that in all these big stores, there's not a single deer meat in the big store.
No.
Why? I would like to think, since there's so much abundance of that, even if I like to think that's the organic, that's one of the healthiest.
Oh, it is. That's why you better be a hunter or be friends with one.
and yet there's none in the stores.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd prefer the big stores to not touch my meat. Honestly, I don't.
Oh, okay, you're up to something.
Yeah, I try very, very hard to get my meat only from the farm or from a hunter. We have friends that hunt.
Okay.
I would love to say that I was able to hunt and kill my own. I don't have that. I don't have the heart for that. I'm very attached to animals.
Okay.
I love me a good piece of meat. I'm a B blood type. Okay. I do not do well when I don't have meat.
Okay. You see, like I said, I like to think that everything has to be done in moderation. And whenever I talk about meat and vegetarian, like I said, somebody literally said, if you eat meat, you're going to hell. If you eat meat, you're not spiritual. So I know exactly. And I'm coming from a background where you're not even allowed to eat pork. And
I would recommend not.
You come to this country, to be specific, everything has pork in it.
Everything is pork.
So is it intentional that we are intentionally getting sick?
Do you know pork is the dirtiest meat that you can eat, because even if it does taste good. It tastes real good, but it's full of parasites.
It does. It is.
And the problem with pork specifically is that the parasites in pork hatch in our intestinal tract. Even the most efficient person with a good digestive tract, those are still going to hatch before they have a chance to get out of the digestive system.
So it doesn't even have to be necessarily religious thing not to eat pork. It's just not good for you.
Well, the reason that most religions do say that is because it is such a dirty meat. And just like shrimp, crab, like crustaceans, like they're bottom feeders. They're dirty foods.
Correct.
And so, again, just like with the other meats, if you're going to eat pork, I highly recommend finding somebody who raises their own pigs, and you have to understand their farming practices.
So like even the emotions of the animals are found in the meat.
Yes.
I like that. I told you, you're gonna learn something. Like I said, we have a special lady in our midst today, and we're gonna do everything we can to grab all the knowledge that we can grab. You mentioned something about fine. You've eaten all the meat, you've eaten all the wrong food. Cleansing.
Yeah.
How do we get back to the original state?
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot. Because anything that's been done to the body can be undone.
Correct.
However,
Correct.
do we have the time? And do you have the discipline?
Oh, goodness.
Because, I mean, that's the hardest part is working with people naturopathically is are you going to actually put the work in? And I do have to warn people when they come to see me, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to give you a quick fix. It doesn't work where you come and say, I have this symptom. Oh, okay, here, take this herb or take this oil, and all of a sudden it's better. No, it's how did we get into the situation where our bodies are speaking to us and telling us, hey, there's something off. And what does that look like? Because you didn't get here overnight. You're not going to cure yourself overnight. So, how much work are you willing to put in? How dedicated are you willing to be when it comes to, everything that's in the body that we need to get out of the body has to come out in some form.
Correct.
Sometimes healing is not always comfortable. And a lot of times people will get the first sign of detox and be like, whoa, I'm not doing this. And unfortunately, our medical model doesn't exactly support the natural model. We're getting there. There are some really amazing practitioners out there that are very open-minded, and I think we're finding a good bridge. But detoxing it's not always comfortable, and it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. Yes, and I mean your food is the most important, but then we have to look at the cycles of the body. You can't just up and decide to do a detox or a cleanse at any time of the year, and that's a lot of wellness practitioners make this mistake. And so our bodies go through cycles just like the seasons do. So when we're looking at cleansing, we want to do that in the spring and in the fall. In the summer and in the winter, we want to be building. Now, if you build enough minerally, you're going to naturally cleanse. However, if you're trying to cleanse during a building season, it can get uncomfortable. You're going against the natural cycles of the body.
Wow. So there's this time where you can literally detox your body.
Yeah.
That's a favorable time.
Yes. Well, just like the moon cycles.
We don't know nothing. I can't speak for everybody. I have no idea. If I don't feel right and I want to detox myself, I'm just going for it. So there's a specific time to do all these things. Why is these kind of knowledge hidden from the public?
There's so much money to be made off of sick people.
Correct. That's an easy answer.
Because a healed patient is not a returning patient.
All right. Since you said that, let's go for it. Well, me and you, we've been nurses where literally somebody have arthritis, somebody have a joint pain, and they take Norco. They take a traditional Norco, ibuprofen, Tylenol. They pop those pills in, and it helps a little bit. But 4 hours later, they want another Norco. Then all of a sudden, they can't poop. They're constipated. They can't poop.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you throw the center in there so that they can poop. Then all of a sudden, there's a cycle: Norco, center, Norco, center, Norco, center. What in your practice, and you're a naturopathic doc, right? What is in your practice that is different from this model, the cycle?
Yeah.
Then eventually explain and expand the difference between naturopathic medicine versus the conventional medicine.
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes to pain or any kind of uncomfortable symptom, kind of like we touched base on with detoxing, your body is talking to you. So the symptoms that you're experiencing are the roadmap for what's going on inside your body. They're signals. With Western medicine and our current medical model, we are so quick to put a Band-Aid on the symptom, make it go away.
Yeah.
But we're not fixing what caused the symptom in the first place. We're just silencing the body so that we can buy ourselves some comfort. But what that does is it shuts down vital body systems, or cuts off communication to the brain. That's what most painkillers do, is they shut down the nerve impulses that tell your body that it's hurting, and that can only last for so long. So we're just silencing it, and what happens is it ends up exacerbating the symptoms or driving it deeper into the body, so that now the problem is becoming worse and worse. Because like you said, okay, maybe we're starting with just numbing the pain with Norco, But then we've got gut issues and disruption. Well, what happens when your bowels are not efficient is that fecal matter sits and ferments in the gut, the toxin loads build up and it seeps into the bloodstream, and then we have inflammation and other problems, again, driving deeper into the body.
Wow.
So the difference between naturopathic medicine and actual, like, the medical field is that we look at the whole person. We're not just looking at, okay, you have this one set of symptom. We're looking at the entire body. We're looking at the emotional state. We're looking at the history. We're looking at your parents. We're looking at your belief systems.
Parents.
Oh, yeah. Epigenetics is huge when it comes to your DNA and what you've inherited. And I mean, you can pass down trauma in your DNA.
Literally,
so, yeah.
Your blood, your DNA.
Everything.
Can wow.
And that's not considered when we look at the medical model. I mean, a lot of people that have like asthma or COPD or all kinds of like chronic lung conditions, a lot of times they're grieving. Their grief is stored in the lungs. If we can clear stuck grief, a lot of times it will physically support the healing of the lungs themselves. You go to your doctor and say, hey, I'm having these lung problems. Guess what? You're probably going to get an inhaler or some kind of a nebulizer or some kind of a steroid.
Correct.
And you're not looking at any of the other causes. We're only fixated on the physical.
Wow. Like I said, people need to know this. People need to know this kind of information. It's quite unfortunate that it's not out there, but we'll take the time to bring content like this. Hopefully we will make a difference.
Yeah.
I like to think we will make a difference.
Absolutely.
Right? But man, I always make a joke that, hey, it's at the end of the day, it's business. You know, these people go to medical school for 15 years. Somebody gotta get sick so they can treat them. But it's good to have this knowledge so you can protect yourself.
Yeah, and I don't want to come off like I'm damning the medical community.
Correct.
There is 100% a time and a place for medicine.
Correct.
Like, if you break your arm or you're having, you know, some kind of a medical emergency that requires surgical intervention or blood transfusions, or you're not going to come see your naturopath. Like, hey doc, can you give me an herb for this? Like, no, we need medical.
Your hand is broke.
Yes. Right. No, go to the emergency room. You're going to need to see a surgeon. You're going to need to see specialists. Like, in an ideal world, we need to be able to combine the two worlds
together
and find that happy medium where we are helping and supporting people with prevention, but having interventions when we need emergency medicine. And then the healing portion of your post-op needs to go back to naturopathy. That's where we implement, we want to reduce the amount of toxin that we are putting in the body, and any kind of a pharmaceutical drug, an anesthesia, all of that is a toxin load to the body.
Just extract it out of the body system.
So, if we're preventing naturally, we're intervening with emergency medicine sparingly, and then we're recovering naturally. That is the most optimal output or outlook for what the medical model should look like. We have to combine the two worlds.
Wow, I like that. You would think by this time, they will be looking into making this kind of merging happen, because it makes sense. I'm friends with a lot of doctors, nurse practitioners, of course, but when I hear about this school, I look into homeopathy, to be specific. And I almost went for that, but when you present that naturopathic school to me, it makes sense. But then you hear a lot of negativity about, that's not real medicine, that is not gonna work, they don't heal nothing, they don't know what their way of diagnosing. I watched there was this diagram that I saw. Like I said, I told you I was doing a little bit of research on it, and of course, doctors can use flashlight to look in your pupil. It's called iridology. Is that a class?
Iridology.
Yeah. You see, I look into that, and I'm like, man, they can learn a lot by just
so much.
You don't necessarily need an x-ray to see what is wrong with the person. And literally by just looking through their people and how it reacts and all of that, you can tell something. And you know what killed me? The diagram that has the foot.
Yeah, the reflexology chart. Yeah, your body will talk to you if you know how to listen to it.
Literally, somebody can tell what is wrong with you by just looking under your foot. See that this is your heart. I'm like, really? So what's up with the X-ray? What's up with the usual? Do they combine the two as well, though? Right?
No.
They don't do an X-ray just to give an idea of what is wrong with the body?
No, so naturopaths do not do any kind of invasive tests or anything like that. We can order labs, but usually I always suggest that if people have medical insurance, that they go see their medical doctor so that their insurance can cover their labs, because with us it's out of pocket. We don't take insurance.
Oh yeah.
There are a couple that are new. I don't play with the insurance game, so I personally don't accept it, nor do I plan to. I feel like insurance companies, as a nurse, they dictate the care of people, and I have minimal respect for involving them in my practice. So I don't plan on doing that myself, but they are making some changes in some of their in the plans and coverages to include. They call it alternative medicine, even though it's the original medicine.
Yep.
And
history will tell you that.
It sure will.
All right, we're coming close to our topic. Like I said, we're just touching basics. My last question, literally, one of my last questions. Where do you put belief and faith in terms of healing?
They're right up there with food. I mean, again, if you are sick in your mind and you don't believe that your body is going to heal, it's not going to. It's going to follow your thoughts. And as far as faith and spirituality, I think that there are a lot of people that are without faith but are also optimistic people, and that's okay too. Sometimes you don't really need to define something in order to receive the benefits of it. So sometimes that healing is a good bridge for helping people to find their faith. I feel like personally, especially, I was an atheist most of my life, so I feel like God will find you where he needs to in order to get through to you on your journey.
Right. Wow. So faith plays a big role in terms of healing, even in the naturopathic medicine or natural ways of healing. You can't heal if you don't even believe in the treatment.
Right.
It won't work if you don't believe that it's gonna work. It's likely not to work if you don't put. A lot of times when they don't believe, they don't put their all into it.
Right. You essentially have surrendered or given up mentally, and the physical body will follow suit.
Follow it. Wow.
You've seen it as a nurse. Failure to thrive.
Yeah. Literally,
that's a condition. Yeah,
they
exactly.
Give up on your body, and it's very crucial. Wow. This is an amazing beginning. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot of series. We're gonna get into deeper topic. We're gonna have topics that pertains to manifestation, quantum physics. Like I always said, spirituality without the ability to enhance your reality, it's useless. You can be all spiritual you want. If it doesn't change your life, it doesn't make your life better, it doesn't improve anything about you, it's nonsense.
Right?
It's nonsense. That's just my opinion.
No, absolutely. It's all about elevating your frequency and healing your body, your mind, and your soul.
Correct.
They all have to be in the same playing field.
Wow.
And of same importance. No one area is more imperative than another. They all go hand in hand.
Wow. Before I let you give your details to whoever would like to reach out to you and where you are based, I'll say that if you really enjoyed this content and you're out there, you stumble upon this video and you really like it, you can like, subscribe, or leave a comment underneath. and we'll appreciate it. It kind of encourages us to make more contents like this. Like I said, I was very grateful to meet Lady Shannon, and she's sharing her knowledge with us. I stumbled on her videos. I was like, nah, this lady knows something. I gotta reach out to her. And so this is just the beginning. We're gonna have a few series with her, and like I said, I'll let her give her details out. If you feel like you need some spiritual cleansing, you need whatever cleanse, your body is going through a lot, and you want a different opinion, once again, it's out there, except people don't want to share this kind of knowledge, and we will do our best to bring some of this information out. And like I said, I'll let her share her details, so that if you're listening and you're close by, or wherever you're listening from, and you think you can reach out to her, we'll make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I do in-person consultations and appointments at Live Well, just outside of Frandor in Lansing, Michigan. I also do virtual sessions for relative, body work like Reiki or different energy healing modalities, and I can also do naturopathic consults virtually as well. But yeah, so if you are interested in checking LiveWell out or booking a service with me, you can go to livewellheal.com, and that has all the information. We have a amazing membership opportunity. There's a whole self-care gym downstairs that members have access to 7 days a week. So there's so much here. I mean, we could spend a whole episode going over the things that we offer at LiveWell. So maybe we'll do that in the future. But
yes.
That's where to find me.
And also, we will leave the website and some few detailed information underneath the comment section or the description section of the video. It's wonderful. Thank you for making the time to share.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And like I said, you can subscribe, you can like, and you can comment on the video, so that it will encourage all of us, so that we can make more videos like this and educate the public. I like to always say life is good and it needs to be enjoyed. It's a privilege that we are alive, and we have to take care of this body and make it last, and hopefully we can positively impact our planet. And with that said, we want to thank you guys for listening to this piece of content and this information, and we want to thank Lady Shannon for once again making the time. You guys stay blessed and stay safe. Thank you.